I'm glad you're here to listen to wonderful program coming to you. And please don't forget to subscribe or give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Yes, welcome to KJ TV, and we are going on with our conversation about the Kenya 2022 election, which is very interesting now that we have two formidable tickets. We have Ruto Rigathi ticket and the Raila Karua ticket. The August election, which is barely 79 days to election, I think we are going to see an intro of what is going to happen. This is an election like not any other which has been held in Kenya since multi-party election in 1992. It is so unique that for the first time, there is no candidate from the mountain. The Mount Kenya region always has produced a presidential candidate. But this time we do not have a candidate. Mount Kenya is a very big region which has a great influence. It's rich with votes. The counties, those surrounding the Mount Kenya region, is a big one. And I'm going to have panelists here, which we are going to have to talk about this. And one of them is Ben Muko. And we have Sam Ireri. And then we have Anthony Kibagendi. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy that you have joined. And as I was saying that we are having an election in Kenya which is unique, that it has not been seen since multi-party election started in Kenya. Unique in that we do not have a presidential candidate from the mountain, from Mount Kenya region. Mr. Ireri, how are you?
I'm doing very well, Dr. Mani. Thank you for the opportunity to be here with you.
Okay, Mr. Ireri, I would want you to introduce yourself, who you are and where you stand.
All right, thank you very much. As you've heard, my name is Samuel Ireri. I'm the diaspora, the Kenya Kwanza diaspora spokesperson, as well as the Minnesota UDA chapter chairman. And as from my title, you can tell I'm aligned to the Kenya Kwanza Alliance, which actually is going to form the next government, and we're super excited for that opportunity to be able to serve Kenyans.
Thank you. Mr. Anthony Kibagendi, welcome. We can't hear your voice. I don't know whether you...
Sorry, I had muted my mic.
Okay. Yeah, can you tell us who you are and what you do?
Thank you so much. I'm Mr. Kibagendi Anthony. I'm an aspirant for the Kitutu Chache South parliamentary seat on an Azimio ticket, ODM.
Okay.
I have been the Secretary for Youth Affairs in the presidency that I resigned recently in the month of February.
Okay.
I'm in the diaspora to rally Kenyans living here to support Azimio so that they can form the next government. We need to transform Kenya to be a better country.
Oh, thank you so much. So we have the Kenya Kwanza, we have Azimio, that's good. Ben Muko.
Yes, my name is Bernard Muko from Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. I've been here for a while. I like politics. I ran for mayor in Brooklyn Park for some time, and I'm a businessman.
Okay.
I'm here to talk about the Kenyan politics, and I would like some to know that we are selling so that Kenyans will vote for us.
Okay.
None is going to make the government until Kenyans vote.
Okay. Good. Now, as I have said, we have a very unique election. And Mr. Ireri, you can give us, I know you come from some part of Mount Kenya. Tell us about the Mount Kenya, because it looks like it is a swing state. Right now, we are having the swing region. Can you tell us a little bit about Mount Kenya region?
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Mandi. So we are not just a swing vote, as people want to perceive. We are solid vote. We have a lot of votes in Mount Kenya, as you all know. You know, around close to 35 to 40% of the vote is in Mount Kenya. So that's why you see why everybody is interested in Mount Kenya. What people also do not know, and what people have started discovering, is that Mount Kenya is actually, we have Mount Kenya West and Mount Kenya East. And there's a lot of, I did see people kind of start knowing that, especially when we had our presidential, deputy presidential candidate being unveiled, and we had two runners up, and we had Kitutu Kindiki, who comes from Mount Kenya East, and then we have Rigathi, who's from Mount Kenya West. So people have started knowing actually there is a difference, and the key difference to it is number one, economic. You know, each region has different economic values and different economic participation into our GDP. So that has brought a lot of attention to Mount Kenya. And I know you just mentioned it. We didn't have any presidential candidate coming from Mount Kenya, which in other elections we've had somebody come from Mount Kenya for that. So this election looks very different and interesting because we don't have anybody from Mount Kenya, which goes to show that, you know, all regions in Kenya are equal, and all regions actually can produce presidential candidates, and we are able to compete out there. So we are very excited that people, you know, have noticed Mount Kenya. They've seen how politics works, and actually even we have opened up our doors to a lot of our other neighboring regions to come and see what's good in Mount Kenya. So I think after this, even the economy of Mount Kenya is going to improve because people can see the highlands that are in Mount Kenya, what are the economic opportunities they can take advantage of just because of this election.
Okay, do you think that is why two of our contenders went to get the running mate from Mount Kenya? Is because of these rich votes?
Of course. That there's one thing that has been played along in Kenya for a long time, and it's been regional politics. One thing we're trying to do, especially on Kenya Kwanza's side, is to ensure that after this election, we can be able to show that how government can function with leaders from different regions, whereby a leader does not have to come from your community for your community to thrive. But of course, before we get there, we had to jump this hurdle of where Mount Kenya was like, hey, how are we going to be? We have survived with presidencies before. How is it going to be? We don't have a president. What are our interests in the region, right? And each region has a right to have to come forth and fight for their, for their cake. That is, let me put that is, right? So we have seen a situation whereby Mount Kenya could not be ignored, okay? And nobody, from both sides, nobody could go it alone without Mount Kenya. So it's very evidence of that. The good thing about it, this election has opened people's eyes to know and minds to know that after this election, what can we say that other regions can be able to play a part into the election, whereby in as much as Mount Kenya counts because of the of how much votes they do have, we can have a balanced government. And so even for us, as you can see, we have tried to align ourselves such that, yes, we're incorporating Mount Kenya, but we're also incorporating the other regions too.
Thank you very much. Anthony Kibagendi.
Yes.
What can you say about the Mount Kenya, and now that you are from the Raila Karua camp, would be that the reason why they picked Karua to get the votes from the Mount Kenya votes?
Of course. Mount Kenya region is one of the most populous region in the country, and we know over the years they've been literally in the presidency. And because of the nature of the number of votes there, and of course the economic power from Mount Kenya, they wouldn't have been ignored, like my brother said. And because of that, our presidential candidate thought it prudent to bring in Madam Karua. But it is for Karua, it is not just purely about Mount Kenya. She's a national leader that cuts across. And remember, it is the first time we are having a major presidential candidate taking a lady as a running mate. and not just a lady, but an iron lady like Martha Karua. And for that could be the reason why we are bringing her on board, because we need to cut across. That is in terms of getting votes from especially the women folk, and then as well as in Mount Kenya. Martha Karua has the name and face recognition that we need across the country for us to be able to actually gather as many votes as possible for what I can call our coalition, which is Azimio la Umoja. Of course, we had 2-3 other contenders, but she was the best suited to take that position.
Okay, good. Ben, what is your take on the 2 tickets choosing a running mate from Mount Kenya?
Yeah, before I talk about that, can I also add something about Mount Kenya? In the past, you can't win in Kenya's presidential ticket if you can't be able to be supported from Mount Kenya. It's only Moi who was a president and he was not supported from Mount Kenya, but you know what happened, because Mount Kenya, Mheshimiwa said, economic power they have. So Moi had a problem to run the country because he didn't have that support. So this time around, we have from Mount Kenya, and we are positive that Azimio will win. So the difference between these 2 Daktari deputy presidents candidates is one. It's just open. It's straightforward. That Karua has been fighting for Kenyan change for a long time. When Raila was in, Karua was among the lawyers who fought for him. Imagine, before even we had the new constitution. Raila fought for new constitution. Martha was forefront. I remember when in Parliament, she could step and stamp the foot, say we can't be able to go ahead without this new constitution. And that was a plus. So Martha has all the qualities to be a vice president or a deputy president in Kenya for these things to work. We have a problem in the judiciary, of course. So Martha Karua coming in as she is, these things will work out very well. In American politics, why American politics or America succeed is because of the rule of law. It's only in Africa that people have law, but they don't obey. In Kenya, we are going to succeed. Actually, I always say, my friends, Raila wins, we are going to have small America. In Kenya, people will fight for us to give them green cards. In that, we will have these 3 branches working very well for Martha coming in this time around.
Okay, to piggyback what you have said about Martha Karua. Martha Karua, as you say, he has been fighting for it. But during the 2007 post-election,
yes,
she was among the people who were said to have bungled the election. And actually, he himself, he feels like Raila cannot be a president. And I want to play you this clip a little bit.
I do not share any values with the Prime Minister Raila Odinga, nor do I admire his politics. In fact, I've been calling upon him to go home together with President Kibaki. Sure. Both of them, both he and President Kibaki, have been totally unable to uproot corruption from within their ranks. And
now, what do you say about that? He's now his running mate, but he doesn't approve of his leadership. What do you have to say?
Daktari, that's politics. Actually, Martha Karua was very, very, very correct. That time, because he didn't have tools to govern the government, he fought for it, but he could not do it. Okay. Now, he's coming in to make these branches work. Corruption will go away. Remember what he did when Ruto was corrupt in the Ministry of Agriculture? Did he spare him? No. He fired him actually, Raila himself. So what Karua was saying that time was the politics of that time, because they didn't have the tools. Remember, in her acceptance, she said, now we have all the tools. We will make this work because we know this country very well. We know where the problem is. They will fix the problem.
Okay, thank you. Sam, what do you say about that?
I like it when people try to run away from a record. And one of the key things is that we're going to be very clear about in this election. We totally understand why Mother Karua was chosen. And we know it was to play a gender card that we've seen being thrown all over the world, especially in America. We've seen that work and all that. As we can all tell, yes, there was excitement a little bit. I call it euphoria myself, which it's almost dying down, dwindling down, looking at, her going to Kirinyaga, our home place, and not even being welcomed well there. So you can tell people are starting to see that this is just a gender card being played, which is actually a very bad thing, because we can't use our women just to play a gender card on it. Because if we need that transformational government, yes, Mother Karua, she has accomplished a lot. I do respect her. I have seen the work that she has done. And actually, even full disclosure, when my mom was in politics, actually, she was a lawyer when my mom was in politics. So I know her pretty good, and I know what she has done and what she has accomplished. But there's one thing that we really have to understand when it comes to Kenyan politics and helping our people move from point A to point B. And that is where we are economically is what really matters. How the next government gets formed. We do understand, yes, there is good governance that's needed, but at the bottom line of everything is the economic value that somebody in their home will feel that economic value. So look at it this way, and this is what I want people to look at, the transparency in government, right? Mm-hmm. When we look at Kenya Kwanza, what we have said when it comes to gender, number one, we have said, for example, half of the government will be run by women. We have done that in writing. We have committed that in writing, whereby out of 21 cabinet positions, 10 positions out of the 21 have been committed to women. Women will run that government. We can have a lady at the top, but if she's not running the government, the nitty-gritty of the government, there's no chance that women have been given, apart from, yes, we have put her to the top. So going back to it, I know that excitement is there. I'm not disparaging what Mother Karua has done. And one thing we also need to look is when we're giving women chance, when we're giving the youth chance, we need to give them a chance on the same level, right? On an open level, whereby as a leader, what have you done? Great question is, yes, we just talked about Mount Kenya balance and how many, votes are in Mount Kenya. And that's why, both sides were kind of going to Mount Kenya for vice presidency. But what does Mother Karua bring to the table? That's my biggest question. She is the leader of one of the biggest political parties in Kenya. How many members of parliament has she had? How many MCAs has she had? What is it that she's bringing that is very different from other people that they could have, even Sabina Chege, what she could have brought, right? Okay. So that's the question that we pose out there.
Can I answer? Can I answer, my brother?
I will give you time later. Sam, on the same note, I also want to tell you that the Ruto Rigathi ticket.
Yes.
Rigathi, Gachagua has a lot of baggage, a lot of skeleton. One of it, you can see there, they were saying that he's accused of 12 billion scandal. That's one he's having. And actually, even one, when he was at DO, see the many things he was even asking for bar tax. There is the DO accused of levying bar tax. That's when he was a DO. And another thing is he's been accused about the Molo killings. He was a DO then, and he was being used by Moi to actually that he really terrorized many Kikuyus in the region.
Okay.
What do you have to say about those?
Let me respond to those, because number one, as we put them clearly, they're alleged, they're allegations, right? Let me start with the 12 billion case. That was a pure propaganda. We know very well he was among the first people who stood with Ruto, our deputy president, when Ruto was being called Tanga. He was the first member of parliament to stand and support the deputy president. Because of that, cases were brought to him. We know how the government and the deep state has been operating of late, is using the DCI to actually fight their fights, right? Which is very wrong. Gachagua was arrested. I remember very well. That's the day actually we were launching the Minnesota chapter. He was arrested on a Friday. They let him go on a Monday. Ever since, they go to court, and always the state side comes up and says, oh, we are not ready. We don't have the material. We don't know what to do. There's nothing. There's no case. They're just trying to play it out such that election comes in, you have a baggage that people are looking at. Bear in mind, my friend, we were here 10 years ago. We had actually people who had been taken to ICC with bigger crimes, right? Because of this politics. And what happened? They were acquitted. They were not even charged. It's because of politics. And that's the politics we are saying in Kenya Kwanza we're going to eliminate. We are not going to use the DCI. We're not going to use the government machinery for us to frustrate our opponents. We will give them a fair chance for them to fight. We'll give them a fair chance for them to tell the Wananchi, what is it that you're going to do for them, for Wananchi to believe and see what you have done. We're not going to use this machinery of bringing people. Going back to, for example, the Molo era, I remember very well, during that time, my father was in opposition. He was arrested with Raila, actually, Orengo. They were all put in jail during that time when they were visiting Molo. Molo clashes, there were a lot of issues going on. And during Moi era, we all know how Moi operated, right? We know how that system operated. It was oppressing the people. There was dictatorship. And that's part of what we are also fighting in Kenya Kwanza to make sure that we'll never go back to that.
That's enough. Ken, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I wanted to answer the question here.
Okay, you can go on.
Huh?
Yeah, you can go on.
Yeah, I want to answer the question, then I can be able to respond.
Yeah.
Why Karua, Martha Karua, Honorable Vice President Dubi, she didn't have a lot of MPs and MCA. Number one, she's not corrupt. She didn't have money, billions, like you guys you have, to dish around and bribe people in the village. Thank God to Matiang'i and his group. Now they are being arrested. We'll see what will happen. This is what we are talking about. If you don't have money, nobody will come to your party. How can she win if she didn't have money? She has not corrupted the country and robbed the country. Number two, if we compare Martha Karua and your deputy president, my friend, is black and white. I don't know why even some you are there, because I know you very well. This guy, 1997, he was corrupt, collecting money from the members of the past. I can send it to you. This is the guy we can't trust with Kenyans' money. This is the guy who was cases in parliament, in court. My friend, in America, if you are, a suspect, you can't even run for an office until you clear yourself. I mean, you have millions of money that you have squandered and conned people. You have millions in your account, and then you say you are going to be my vice president? No.
So
if we can't trust you in the small things, that's what the Bible says. And I wonder, Ruto, he says that he was in a Sunday school one time as a teacher, and he didn't even read this. You can't be trusted in small things. We can trust you in the big one. Remember when he was in the Minister of Agriculture? What did he do? Things were done poorly. So even rectified some. The water towers, Raila has been fighting for all these years.
Okay, Ben,
he's against it.
That's enough, Ben. We have to go to Ken before we digest the thing some. So Ken, can you comment about that, about the vice president running this?
Okay, now first I would like to ask the two gentlemen to calm down.
This is a crossfire, my friend.
Okay, and again, I will also like to add my senior and host, Dr. Omandi, that a bulk of what you just shared about our senior proposed deputy president for Kenya Kwanza, bulk of it is purely propaganda. So sometimes people form those things, they throw them on WhatsApp groups, and probably that is where you pick them from. But I want to say something. There's something my brother here, Ireri, asked, what is Martha Karua bringing to the table? I would also like to ask him, what is Rigathi Gachagua bringing to the table? Because he's just an elected member of parliament. He doesn't have his MCAs. He doesn't have his MPs. So what is he bringing to the table? But I would like to tell him what actually Martha Karua brings to the table. Martha Karua brings what I call legitimacy. Legitimacy is critical in this election. Martha Karua brings integrity. We are looking for integrity in this particular election. You realize a bulk of our citizens are not comfortable with the issues that have been raised about Rigathi Gachagua. And that really, for me, matters. And you realize that the number of undecided voters in the coming polls will have reduced. This is because a bulk of them will decide to go with Martha Karua because of the issue to do with legitimacy and integrity. That is critical in this particular election.
Okay, thank you very much. Sam, I would want to give you 1 minute to respond to what Ben said.
I'm going to respond to both of them, and this is a very good discussion because we need these discussions to ensure that our wananchi are aware of what's going on and the propaganda is being thrown around. Actually, starting with what Mr. Kibagendi has talked about legitimacy, we totally understand that that's the card that they want to play on top of the gender card. But we look at both sides. If you look at both sides, a very good example is the KEMSA. This just happened the other day about COVID, right? The person who's on the top of the ticket, Raila Odinga, has his close circles. All of them have been mentioned at KEMSA. And as we say, yes, it's allegedly been mentioned, but he himself does not even want to talk about it because he knows a lot of people are going to get affected. Right? We know, like Jeanette, for example, he was mentioned. I'm not saying he's guilty or not, but that's something that needs to be brought up, and we talk about it. When we go to legitimacy, we're not just looking legitimacy by one person. Let's look at the whole ticket, right? What does Raila and Martha Karua represent? What do they bring around? Who are the peoples around them? Versus what we have. For us, we're saying this, and this is what we're saying. If you have a case to answer in court, you need to answer that case. You are innocent until you're proven guilty. That is the law. That is the Kenyan constitution. We cannot come here and say, oh, so-and-so is corrupt, so-and-so is this, and we have not taken the matter to court. We have many cases that being brought to court and the court dismisses them, right? Because they say this is propaganda, this has not been done. We have institutions that do function in Kenya. We cannot say that we don't have institutions that don't function. A good example is the BBI. The BBI was taken to court. People went to court. It was adjudicated, and we found out it was unconstitutional. If it was during the Moi era, we could not have that ruling, right? Okay. But we have this ruling because our institutions have been powered to be independent. And when Kenya Kwanza, we formed government on the 9th of August, we want to continue to empower these institutions for that. So when my friends talk about, oh, Rigathi is corrupt, all that, bring them to court. We see, like Rigathi, you brought him to court so many times. Every time he goes to answer the court, the state doesn't have a case. So my friends, let's not use propaganda. Let the people understand what you're going to do for them. What are you bringing to the table? For example, my friend Kibagendi just asked about Rigathi. He's just an elected MP. He's an elected MP with legitimacy from his people. Martha Karua ran and his people rejected. They rejected her because she didn't have an agenda for the people, right? So that's what we look at as a leader. I might be a border leader, but I'm bringing my people together and being elected, and I'm bringing that vote rather than I'm running for governor and I can't even get to half of the vote. You see? That's
Okay.
what we need to consider in leadership.
Thank you, Sam. And I want to ask this question now about the 2 tickets we have. Ken, did you? Anton, did you have something you wanted to ask?
No, you can ask before
Okay.
I can come.
Yeah. Now, let us look keenly. You know, we are in the diaspora and we are looking about the 2 tickets. And what do you think? I know everybody has a position. Why do you think your ticket is going to win? And give us the reasons why you feel we want the strategy and the numbers why you feel that is going to win. Like you now, Anthony, I know you are in Azimio. Why do you think Azimio is going to win?
Thank you. Now, first on the issue of Azimio and how we are going to win. First, you know, Raila Odinga has run before, and consistently he has been building on the support he has had in the past elections. If you look at in political science, we are told in politics you don't lose. You can only grow, or you stagnate, or you actually decline. And Raila Odinga has consistently, despite his age, been growing in politics, in the sense that his numbers have been growing, his influence has been growing, and that alone gives us an edge. And he has run before, he's experienced, he has the networks. Number 2, we have taken a unique running mate in this particular election, a unique running mate in the sense that, indeed, like my brother said, the gender issue is of critical, is something that is critical in this election. Now, it means we are giving the women folk an opportunity to actually lead at the very top of our community, of our country, and that is where we have an edge over our opponents. Women in Kenya, for once, feel they have someone in the presidency who will actually champion not only their issues, but someone that will ensure things actually work. We know women are the makers of homes, and we believe that with Martha Karua at the top, we are going to build a cohesive nation. We are going to build a disciplined nation whereby priorities are given the necessary attention that they need to get. Okay. The other thing I would like to mention before you take it to the next is that we have what I can call a combination of every generation within our circles. In this sense, I mean, we have myself, we have Babu Wino, we have the likes of Edwin Sifuna, and all these young people. And then we have people who are in the middle age, and we have the elders. And you know, in Kenya, one of the sayings goes that palipo na wazee hapaharibiki jambo. And that is why Mzee Raila Amolo Odinga is there just for these 5 years to help us ensure that we have a transition that brings about peace and cohesion in this country, that ensures that we clean up the corruption that we've had in the country, that ensures we bring on board the women so that they can feel that they are also involved in the leadership of this country.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Sam, why do you think the Ruto Rigathi ticket is going to win, and why?
So one of the key things is I have 4 points actually regarding this ticket that I can tell you about. One, I'll go off what Anthony just talked about, gender, right? With the gender, we have we have a coalition that has come together and stated that we are not going to just give promises out of nothing. We need something in writing that we commit to. For example, as I said before, we are a transparent government. Everybody has seen all our coalition documents. Everybody has seen what everybody has discussed and that is agreed upon. We have not seen that from the other side. And that's beside the issue. That's a very minute point on what I was going to actually even talk about. So on the gender issue, we have committed and said, guess what? Half of our government needs to be run by women. As Anthony stated, women run homes, and they run homes clearly and very well. So let the government be run by women. When we say the government is run by women, a very good question comes about during the Kibaki era. The president, Kibaki was the president, but we still had some corruption going on, right? Because the people who had been entrusted with those positions were corrupt and were not doing the right thing. So what we say is, we talk about women running the government. A woman cannot just run the government being just at the top. We need them in this cabinet position to be the key makers of the government agenda. So we have said out of 21 cabinet positions, 10 are going to women. All right, that's half of the government. Number two, real quick here. Number two, one of the other things is we are a political party under an economic revolution that has been mandated by the people. We went to the people and we asked them, what is it that you want in the next government? And we took time. As you can see, we have economic forums that have been going on in every county that the other side doesn't even do. They don't listen to the Mwananchi. The Mwananchi told us, I need more money in my pocket because when it comes to the standard of living is so high. And that's what we are fighting for before anything else. That Mwananchi can keep more money in their pocket. They can be able to control their economic future and those of their children. And that is only realized by the bottom-up economic model that has been proven in all over the world that it does work. Even Biden stated that the only way we have been doing this trickle down economics, and it just works for handful. It just works for the dynasties. Now we want where the common person has that power, and once they have that to run the government, they can be able to fire the people because you cannot come and bribe them just to be able to vote for you. They have the money.
Our time
to say
is
no.
fast running.
Thank
we
you.
need to summarize a little bit. Then why do you think your ticket is going to win?
Yeah, I'll be very, very brief. It is hoping that Azimio is going to win because we have been winning. All through, Raila has been winning and they have been stealing.
Well, you can't prove that.
Yeah, I'm going to give you 2 points, Dr.
Yes.
Number one, when Raila was here sometimes back, I personally asked him, why did you join KANU? He said, Bernard, I'd joined KANU to know what's inside. The same thing that he did to shake hands with Uhuru, this one giving him a marriage that now he's going to win because of what it's going to do to Kenyans. Every Kenyan knows what Raila can do. First, what is killing us is corruption. Nobody's talking about it. Corruption is killing our country. We could be very rich in Kenya. Now they are bringing us wheelbarrows and taking millions home. And they are telling us we can build you from down by using a wheelbarrow. And if you look at what they have, my friend, is billions. So, Dr. we are going to win because we are teaching Kenyans to see for themselves. If they give Raila more MPs and MCAs and governors, because he brought the constitution, you know, Dr. The constitution that we have Kenya is perfect. It's America, copy and paste. The only thing is implemented, need to be implemented and executed for us to have a perfect country, to eliminate the corruption, and we'll have a good government.
Thank you. And now this question goes directly to Sam Ireri.
Yes.
When Kenya Kwanza was choosing a running mate, they went through popular vote. And it has been said that actually Kitutu Kindiki won by landslide. Even it came down now to only MPs from Mount Kenya. All of them voted for Kindiki. But Ruto made a unilateral decision.
Nope.
No, that's what is being said, to choose Ruto, Rigathi. And they are saying that because he had threatened him that there's no way he cannot become a running mate. Why did he go against the majority if he is really democratic?
Thank you very much, Dr. Mandi, for bringing this question. Number one, I see that you do follow a lot of bloggers online, especially the Azimio bloggers that are bringing this issue up. So one thing that people have to understand, and this Kitutu Kindiki himself came out and explained very clearly point by point on what happens when you're choosing a running mate. All right. He said, and if I can even quote him, I'll paraphrase what he said. He said that there are metrics that are used, and an aggregate is found for you to get a running mate, because there are so many factors that come into play when you're choosing a running mate. All right. There's a popular vote that Kindiki won. All right. There's where the Mount Kenya members of parliament came and won. We also looked at the influence, who has more influence when it comes to Mount Kenya. There are other things that were into play. For example, the compatibility, how are they compatible with each other, right? All these things are put together, and an aggregate people come together with an aggregate number, and that number is what our deputy president used. He said it's going to be fair, free, and fair. We're going to go ahead and use every single factor that's needed. Kindiki himself did confess and say, guess what? Yes, I had the popular vote. I had the Mount Kenya people on my side. But after the deputy president and those who are in charge went through, they came to that aggregate, which he does agree that, guess what? Yes, Mr. Rigathi Gachagua came ahead of me, and we're going to work together on that. And that is what the bloggers are not telling everybody. The bloggers are saying they are coming up to come and just choose. And then the other thing too, just to mention one thing, this was supposed, number one, to be a decision that only the person on the top of the candidate can choose. But we opened it up so that it can be, everybody can see how the process works. It took time, yes, but it was free and fair, and everybody saw that. And that's why Mount Kenya East, we are very comfortable, and we have agreed to the decision.
Okay, Sam, both of us are here. We rely on those bloggers, and we rely on what the interview we get from the ground. I think that is the same way you do. But even what you are saying, I saw the interview of Kindiki. Of course, he was trying to put a face, but the non-verbal communication really looks like he was not happy, because this is a statement he said. He's not going to run for any elected post, even an appointed position. Don't wait, let me finish first. That tells more the non-verbal communication that he was disappointed. I know Ruto had a right to go for royalty, because remember, Kindiki was supposed to run for governor, Tarakaniti.
Exactly.
And it is Ruto who had requested wampatie huyu.
Exactly.
So he left.
And did you say for what reason?
No. We don't know. But don't you think this is going to bring us schism in Mount Kenya? Let me put your map in Mount Kenya. You see, it comes from the east side.
Yeah.
But they were looking at, I think, that the other side has more votes. If that is the only reason, don't you think it's gonna bring us schism in the mountain region?
No, it's not, because of one thing. Let me tell you this thing that people don't know. Number one, when we go to Mount Kenya East, and I am telling people, and people are thinking this is a lie, Ruto has 98% of the vote of Mount Kenya East. 98%. Mark my words, next on the 9th, we'll be here, we discuss about it. All right. That being put aside, people assume that Kindiki being called not to run for governor was going to be the vice president. Some people actually early on, before he even became one of the contenders, they already knew he was going to be appointed to be the attorney general. That's what has been running around. If you go to his Facebook, he just said, watch this space, right? And we know what's coming. And we know, number one of our major general people, intelligence guys called Itumbi, has already said there's something that's cooking, that's coming. All I'm saying is this: people speculate a lot. And there's speculation in politics. That's what makes politics interesting, because you have to speculate and, make our blood pressures go high, thinking what's going to happen next. Kindiki is a very intelligent, let me call him young man, although he's a little bit older than me. But when you look at what he brings to the table, it's actually more than just a deputy president that he brings to the table. Okay. So I do believe that there's a good space for him.
Let's hear from Ben. What do you think the repercussion will be, Ben?
About
about their failure to choose Kindiki?
As someone said, Kindiki is an educated person and is very intelligent. He can know over many things on different areas. We just leave him wherever he works. I think he is perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, there is this vexing question we need. Anthony,
Yes.
what do you have to say about their failure to appoint Kindiki?
Indeed, Kindiki, like my brother Sama said, is such an intelligent and organized individual or Kenyan citizen. And because of that, of course, there are a number of people who felt that he was played, and hence they may not vote for that coalition, especially people from Mount Kenya East. But again, I want to correct a notion that the Rigathi axis has more votes, or Mount Kenya West has more votes. You know, in all this, we are looking at someone that is more acceptable, not just in Mount Kenya, like Kenya Kwanza were looking at their running mate. We are looking for someone that is acceptable across the board. And that is why, for me, Kindiki would have been a better deal for them, and why Martha Karua is a wonderful option, is a wonderful addition to our team of Azimio la Umoja. Okay. And my brother Sam, I would like to mention to him that the issue of Mount Kenya is that you have 98% of the voters in Mount Kenya East voting for William Ruto. For me, is insincere, because we haven't voted. Because I know we have Munya, we have all the big shots from that region supporting Raila Amolo Odinga. But again, a correction on Dr. Omandi is that there's something I have realized with how the diaspora views the politics of our country. We seem to probably rely so much on what I can call the informal media, social media. The reality back home is a little different from the way you wonderful people in the diaspora view it. And sincerely speaking, yes, I respect the choice of Rigathi Gachagua and his crew, but I can tell you, we are going to whitewash them. We are going to beat the Kenya Kwanza team so early in the morning, and we'll be happy to hand them over the opposition benches in parliament.
Okay. Now, there is a...
Can I say something about Kindiki?
Okay.
I think, I didn't want to say it, but let me say this. Kindiki was very good not to join Ruto, because I know Kindiki is a very straightforward and clean record. Ruto is corrupt. So he chose the right person to be a running mate. Let him continue to be what he is. We may ask him to join us, and we build the country together.
Okay, I'm coming to the people of Azimio. Wait, Sam, first. Because we are running sort of our time here. There is one comment from an observer who's watching us. It's put 411 loaded. He's saying, do you guys think it will be that easy more so if Kalonzo doesn't come back to the Azimio? Because the same way we are talking about Kindiki, Azimio has also an issue, because there was a Kalonzo Musyoka who wanted to be a running mate, and he has said he's moving out. Do you think that ticket can be saved if Kalonzo Musyoka does not come back? Ben Muko?
Dr. That's a very good question. You know, Azimio, it's an organization that takes everybody who is honest and who want to build the country. As Raila said all the time, we are building a group of people without discrimination. Kalonzo, we gave him a chance, and we said, let's work together. But we know the record of Kalonzo all the time. That is what he does best. He jumps up and down, he goes and comes back. That's why even Raila, with his wisdom, he gave a committee to do the job. That was perfect. If he could have come, we don't know what could have happened because he has done worse things before. Even Kibaki, joining Kibaki, he was not in the ticket until he was chosen to come in. So it's better without Kalonzo right now because we will win.
Okay.
But
I have an issue. I have an issue.
Okay,
Daktari,
Anthony, then we
Daktari,
come to
Daktari,
Sam.
allow me. I would like to, my brother Ben. I would
Yes.
like us to reduce on some degree of. I don't want to call it arrogance. That we don't need Kalonzo, we don't need so and so. We are at a point where we need everyone on board.
Yeah, that's what I said. Azimio, we want everybody.
Even when it was viewed that Kalonzo is in Azimio, Martha Karua was in Azimio, if you look at the polls, we were still not leading by a good margin. So we need Kalonzo on board so that we can stretch the margin. That is the only way we can beat Kinasam very early and be able to form the government of the people. So I request, especially our supporters in Azimio, we have this tendency of when someone is trying to stand up to what they think is right for them, we go really hard on them. And that sometimes pushes them away. It is at this point that I would like to urge our supporters to learn how to talk.
We have lost you.
Bring them on so that we don't lose our supporters.
Okay.
Do you know why, Mheshimiwa?
No.
Mheshimiwa, we want to get to Canaan. We don't want to be delayed, but we welcome them.
So thank you, Daktari. You can tell how Azimio people treat people. It's very evident right here. But nevertheless, the way Kalonzo was treated, we call our senior counsel, the way he was treated was not right. We can see, number one, even starting with the barrier of Kibaki, how he was treated. He was the vice president of Kibaki. The deep state could not even give him a chance for him to talk. And when I talk about deep state is one. Azimio is deep state because Uhuru
Ruto is deep state too. He's the vice president.
No. Uhuru, Ruto is no longer a deep state because he was kicked out. But that's a topic for another day. But what I'm saying, we understand Azimio is led by Uhuru. If you look at their coalition documents, right, Uhuru is at the top. Raila is just the person who's just the flag bearer. But the head of Azimio is Uhuru. You can tell how they treated Kalonzo seriously. And the key thing to it was give him a fair chance. Give him a fair chance. Let him come and see what he brings to the table. They took him back and forth. They at one point they said he doesn't even know what he signed and all that. They couldn't even produce documents for the other coalition members. But that's never the point. All I'm saying is this: whether Kalonzo still joins them or not, we know the votes that we have. So Kalonzo is a non-factor to us. We would love to have him because now we'll add his votes to us to completely keep that margin far and it's bigger and wider as possible. But we know at the end of the day, the Kamba nation is not happy. That is something that we know, that Azimio knows. And number one, even Azimio, this polling that they're talking about, that Mheshimiwa Kibagendi just talked about here, we understand right now the media where it is at. Media doesn't even cover Kenya Kwanza things. The only time they really covered Kenya Kwanza is when we were waiting for the deputy president. Apart from that, the media doesn't cover. They just cover Azimio. Right? But where we are at the moment without that coverage, it means that we have talked to the Wananchi, it means that we have understood what the common person wants, and the people relate to us. Look at the nominations that we did versus Azimio. Okay? Look at that. Look at how many people wanted to be on a UDA ticket. That means that's a representation of how people are thinking and how people feel about Kenya Kwanza.
Okay, Sam. And we just want to be objective. I mean, I'm happy where the country is. That we are talking about individuals now, which is very nice, and we are very sober in Kenya, which is very nice. And we really need to appreciate that. That we are running a campaign, talking of issues, not where, of course, tribalism is still imparted in us. But one of the things is perplexing in Kenya right now. As much as you are saying about that you have the votes, we can agree that there is voter apathy, more especially in Mount Kenya. And this is where, let me finish. The observation is the Mount Kenya people are not excited to wear either ticket, and that would affect the turnout, because it looks like they vote more when they have their own on the ballot. What effect would that have if the turnout is low in Mount Kenya?
So,
wait, let Anthony give us that, because he's the one who came from Kenya.
Okay, now, first, that is what I can call hypothesis. We don't know whether we'll have voter apathy, because, again, emotions have been raised really high, and Mount Kenya, for once, are assured of a deputy presidency. So that can also give them a chance for them to turn out in large numbers. That is one. Number two, even if Mount Kenya does not turn up in the numbers they have been doing, the rest of the country will turn up in larger numbers than they have, because probably Rift Valley has someone that is running for the presidency, and Nyanza has someone that is running for the presidency. And the major presidential candidates that we had initially, like Kalonzo Musyoka and Mudavadi's, those are in the various coalitions. And hence, they'll be able to rally their people to turn up in the numbers that will be able to turn the tables. And I can tell you from what I see, we have about 22 million voters. This time round, we'll have about 18 to 19 million people turning up to vote in favor of Azimio, and Azimio will have between 12 and 13 million votes.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
True. That's true. And again, Daktari, we want to run away from.
Wait, is Sam talking first? Then you. Sam respond to that.
Thank you, Daktari. I think you can hear me now. So one thing I'll say is very clear, exactly what Kibagendi has said. That voter apathy is something that, we don't know if it's going to happen. I strongly believe that there won't be any voter apathy in Mount Kenya because of one thing. Mount Kenya is right now we know exactly what's at stake. If now I take my diaspora hat off and my leadership hat off and I just become a Mount Kenya voter, right? I know what's at stake. I look at the economic value that's going to be added on either ticket, right? If they win. And Mount Kenya people, we're very industrious. We care a lot about economics more than anything else. And that is what's going to be the key driving force for people to come out and vote. And people will be looking at it yes, we understand there's Mother Karua, who's from Mount Kenya. And we do also have Rigathi, who's from Mount Kenya. But that's the non-issue right there. The issue is, what at the end of the day are my kids going to eat? Because, Mount Kenya has been really affected. When you look at land issues, there's no land in Mount Kenya, right? There's nowhere that you can buy land right now or do anything at all, because we have been overpopulated there. And what can we do to make sure that our people can be able to compete and have money in their pockets? And that's what Kenya Kwanza is telling. And why we are very confident we're winning this election is because we have listened to the people. We have not just imposed things on people. We have listened to the people and what the people's agenda is.
Okay,
and that is what it is.
Our time is fast running. Ben, I will want your comment. We are almost done here now.
Yes. Thank you, Daktari. First of all, I would love to say that we are running from this notion that if it's Kibagendi is carrying all cases, if Sam is carrying all the Rift Valley. We are running from that because now the media and the youth that we have, they run the facts. What the agenda on Azimio, what agenda of Ruto's wing. So they will look at it and say, this is what we are voting for. You will be surprised. We'll come here after 9th of August and you guys, Daktari, remember this. It will be different from what we are thinking, even if we can also. I remember from Kalonzo's area, they said this: nobody's carrying us in the back. We want to choose where we are going to vote. to vote this time round. So Daktari, from Mount Kenya, they know what they want. From all the country in Kenya, they are running. Hii sera wanasema uza sera zenu. This is what they are doing in Azimio we are doing, and people are agreeing. Actually, if Ruto can be able to earn 3 million, he would be very lucky.
Okay. Thank you. Now, I want to go to a personal question to Anthony Kibagendi. Kibagendi has been working with the vice president. He was known to be in UDA. And, I was surprised this morning to know that Anthony Kibagendi switched and went to Azimio. What made you move from UDA to ODM?
First, I would like to, I'm surprised that you learned about that this morning. Yeah. Given that you're a renowned journalist, you should have known the same day it happened.
I know you were running, but I thought you were running on UDA. Now,
the same day it happened in February when I defected, you ought to have gotten the information, given your level of engagement. I moved from UDA and the Kenya Kwanza fraternity, one, because of accumulated frustrations on that end, and two, because I thought, mimi ni kijana wa baba, I need to go back home. I was in ODM before. Yes, initially in 2017, I was played at the nomination. That is what led to my exit, and I joined Jubilee and later UDA. Plus, there's something you've seen, there are photos going around where people are listening to the ground. And that is another thing that I had to do. The people of Kisii County, the people of Kitutu Chache South want us to belong in Azimio and ODM to be specific. And those are some of the reasons that led me to actually move to Azimio, given that I believe in the leadership of Raila Amolo Odinga. But beyond that, because we are about to finish, I would like to give my closing remarks. The people of the diaspora are an important addition to our community, and they are exposed. They have come to the West to be able to learn and bring information back home and bring ideas back home. Please try and influence the people back home to vote for the right leadership. Those people are your dependents most of the time. You should be able to inform them that the right people to vote for, the right coalition to vote for is Azimio la Umoja, and those from Kitutu Chache South, they should be able to remind their people that Anthony Kibagendi is the right candidate that will transform Kitutu Chache South. You should also be able to rally our young people not to get involved in criminal activities, to heckle leaders, or to be used for violence in these times of election. But beyond all that, I would like us to have a peaceful campaign period and peaceful elections. Thank you so much, Dr. Mandi, for inviting me to this show.
Thank you. Thank you. Sam, you wanted to say something before we close?
Yeah, mine was just closing on this point, and which I'm just going to say because of my leadership in diaspora, is to seek all diaspora and ask them one question. When we look at back home, economically, how have you been affected economically by the politics of back home when you're here? And that is when I send money back home, when Muko sends money back home, there's no rate for Muko and rate for Sam because I'm in Kenya Kwanza or is in Azimio. It's the same rate, right? So we as diaspora, go back and look at that economic model, that bottom-up economic model. Just don't be lied by other people what it is and all that, tongue twisted and stuff. Look at what's contained in there. And then the other thing too, when we talk about transparency in government, we have seen Kenya Kwanza come up. They have put it in writing. What's in it for diasporans? What are diasporans going to be able to benefit when Kenya Kwanza forms government? It's in writing, it's binding, and the deputy presidents are committed to it. When he becomes the 5th president, this is what diasporans are going to get. We understand that. We know that. That memorandum is out there. People can look at it, see what's contained in it, and agree to it. Whereas in Azimio, nothing has been done.
Thank you so much. We will end here. Thank you for your time. And we hope to continue this discussion in future.
Can I